So today, we're diving into a really fascinating technique that top coaches use to spark some seriously rapid and lasting change. It's all about consciously blending our senses to unlock a much deeper understanding of who we are and, what we're actually capable of. Let's get right into it.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That powerful, almost instant link between a sound and a feeling, or a smell and a full-blown memory. It feels totally automatic, doesn't it? But here's a thought. What if you could actually learn to harness that power on purpose?
Well, that experience of one sense kicking off another actually has a name. And in the world of neurolinguistic programming, or NLP, it's a key tool for personal transformation. We're talking about intentionally fusing our senses together. So what exactly is NLP Synesthesia? It's the deliberate fusion of our sensory systems. This isn't just something that randomly happens to you. It's a skill you can actively learn and use to build these incredibly powerful and positive internal states whenever you want.
This quote from NLP developer Robert Dilts just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures why this is so powerful. When you combine senses, say linking a super clear image of a goal with a deep gut feeling of confidence, the internal experience you create is just so much more potent and memorable than if you just, saw the picture alone. Okay, so how does NLP actually take this natural thing that happens to all of us and turn it into a practical tool? Let's take a closer look at the approach. Now, it is really important to make a clear distinction here. NLP Synesthesia is a trainable skill that we use as a tool for change. Clinical synesthesia, on the other hand, that's an automatic, involuntary neurological condition. So with NLP, we're not trying to replicate the condition, we're just borrowing the underlying principle to create positive change.
And the foundation for all of this is what's called the VAC model. That's visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. NLP practitioners know that we process our world through these three main channels. And what's so cool is that we drop clues about our preferred system all the time in our everyday language. A skilled coach is listening for words like see, hear, or feel, because they're the building blocks of how someone is constructing their inner world.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. How does a coach actually do this? How do they create these sensory overlaps to help someone? Well, it often starts with a very simple, targeted question. Just look at this question. It seems so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The coach is asking the client to consciously connect what they see, that's the visual system, with what they are physically feeling in their body, the kinesthetic system. It creates a direct see-feel link right there. Or how about this one? This is another great variation. This question links the auditory system, that little inner voice we all have, directly to the visual system. By asking this, a coach helps someone realize how their own internal chatter is literally coloring the picture of an opportunity in their mind. And here we go, the third key combination, linking kinesthetic, the feeling, to the auditory, what you hear. This approach takes a really positive feeling, like connection or confidence, and anchors it to a new, empowering internal dialogue. It's about consciously building a state where a good feeling automatically triggers positive self-talk. It's fantastic.
Now, these targeted questions are usually part of a bigger, structured process like this one, a classic NLP pattern called failure into feedback. A coach might guide someone to first mentally step away from a negative memory and then reassemble it, but this time layering on new resources, purposefully overlapping it with positive feelings and new empowering self-talk. That old see it and feel bad circuit in your brain gets completely rewired into a new see it, learn from it, and feel empowered one. So we've seen the how, which is super interesting. But let's just pull back for a second and really look at why this sensory blending is such a game changer in coaching and personal development. First off, this isn't some new age fad. The concept goes right back to the founders of NLP, who called these sensory blends fuzzy functions. Then, it was later expanded on by researchers like Robert Dilts, who saw these overlaps as a key ingredient for creativity and genius. And there's a neurological reason for all of this too. The technique is basically mirroring what our brain is already built to do. See, there's a part of our brain called the angular gyrus that pretty much acts like a central hub, or a mixing board, integrating all the stuff coming in from our different senses to create one unified experience of the world. So NLP Synesthesia is just a way of consciously directing that process. And all of this leads to some very real, very tangible benefits. When you fuse your senses, experiences become way more vivid, more memorable.
This can seriously accelerate belief change, it can boost your motivation, and it can even improve learning and retention, all because you're getting more of your brain in on the action.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's check out a few examples of how this gets applied across a bunch of different fields. You can really see how versatile this is. I mean, for a manager, it could be linking that crystal clear vision of a successful team with the actual felt sense of smooth coordination. For a songwriter, maybe it's about connecting a physical rhythm they're tapping out on a table to an emerging melody they can hear in their head. It's even used in therapeutic coaching to help people break old, unhelpful patterns, like seeing something that triggers fear and building a new, more responsive response instead. You know, the biggest takeaway here is that this isn't just some technique for coaches. It's a way of understanding how our own minds work. By becoming more aware of how our senses are already linked up, we can start to consciously direct them. So the question I really want to leave you with is this: how will you blend your senses to shape your world? What sight, sound, and feeling will you combine to create the state of mind you truly want to live in?